So just because time has gone by, when God positions you in a place of success, you don't owe these people from the past anything at all. You are the destiny helper of those who need assistance predicated upon where God has told you to go. Just because you know somebody related through blood does not mean you're obligated to help them, because when they was in a position to help you, they decided not to. The tables turn in life, and what goes up must come down. The first will be last and the last will be first. That's the universal law of life. People that's up, they will be down. And people that are down, they will be up. And once you get up and on your feet, do not forget who was there for you when you least expected it. Cherish those people, pour into those people. But the people who made it their mission to show you that they could and they decided not to, never forget that. So you need to prepare yourself for confrontation, because there will be people who left you for dead in old seasons who will see you going somewhere, and now that everybody like you, now they want to jump on board and say, oh, I know that person. That's my this, that's my that. And you're going to have to tell yourself, I'm not going to, speak on this individual. And if the person ever is mentioned or what have you, I'm going to say, like, they don't have nothing to do with me or whatever you need to do. But when those people try to reach out to you, because they will, all narcissists reach out to people for years. Years will go by and they will reach out to you, and you have to just tell it like it is, even if it hurts their feelings. And I'm being honest. So if you are afraid of confrontation, you need to prepare yourself for the possibility of having to confront these people. And the world is large, but it's also small simultaneously as well. You have no idea when and if you're going to ever bump into these people that have traumatized you in the past before. And if you do jump, bump into them at any time in life, prepare yourself for how you're going to handle that. Prepare yourself for how you're going to maturely handle that. Because there's a way to confront something or not to confront something. But you don't have to be messy, and you don't have to be drama-full when it comes to bumping into somebody who calls your life a living hell, or having to see that individual. Because it's triggering, I'm telling you. It's very triggering. Okay, so the whole purpose of preparing yourself for the possibility of confrontation, it prevents ambushing. One thing about narcissists, if they did something to alter your reality, to make your life a living nightmare, they're always in the back of their mind waiting on the opportunity to catch you slipping. That's the whole point of people monitoring people for years and years and years. They're trying to see how well you're doing, how bad you're doing, and if you are a human being, going through ups and downs, they're hoping to find those down moments so they can try to ease their way and exploit that and ambush you again. And hoover around you with the hopes that you will let them weasel their way back in because time has passed, so that they can finish the job. They never stop ruminating and obsessing over finishing you. 15, 20, 30 years will go by, and I don't care how Christian they say they are, or religious or spiritual they express themselves, I will never trust somebody that tried to not only destroy my life but take me up off of this planet, and I didn't deserve that. And as your coach, and if I've ever coached you, I would tell my client the same thing. I'm not that positive and optimistic that I believe that somebody coming and talking about the Bible and how God has changed them is going to make me trust you again. I will never trust you as far as I can see or throw you. Ever. If you try to hurt me or cause me pain or put me in danger or left me when I needed assistance, I will never forget. Forgiven for myself. Forget, never. Prepare for confrontation and the possibility so that will prevent ambushes, and it'll also prevent you from having a lot of emotional impulses and reactions, which is what narcissistic and toxic people love. They love to hit you in a place where they hurt you before. If you ever show any weakness in the past, they'll keep trying to poke at that over time to see if you're still going to give them the emotional reaction that they saw before. It is your job to disappoint them. Number 4, remove any close and weak relationships that you may have. And this doesn't have to be people from the past. This could be people in your present reality. I would definitely get rid of anybody. If you are a person who has survived life-altering, traumatizing events in the past, humiliation rituals, group harassment, slander, smear campaigns, and things of that nature. People destiny swapping and trying to alter your reality in the past, and you survived it, and you've been able to move forward and make a life, some type of stability for yourself. Anyone that comes in your reality who you have to break all of this stuff down and tell them, because I talked to clients and they told me, well, yeah, I told them, I have these people from the past, and if they ever try to reach out to them, I try to give them this contingency and tell them this and that. Listen, I'm not telling you anything. I don't believe in warning people about the possibility of nosy, narcissistic family members trying to interfere with my relationships. I'm not warning you about anything. Because if they do reach out to you, if they find out that I have certain friends or business partnerships or a romantic partnership, and they decide to find you online and they reach out to you and you start acting funny to me, I'm cutting you off. I'm not going to warn you. I don't mind you being tested by life. And if those narcissistic people, because that's what they do, they love to interfere with your relationships and your personal autonomy and your freedom to go on about your business. So if you have new people in your reality, they sit back and try to monitor to see what are your close relationships, who are your close relationships, hoping to go behind the scenes and interfere. If you have any type of business about yourself, then I'm sure you are an asset to people. So if people start acting funny to you because somebody from the past, some negative person reached out to them and said, yeah, I know them and they're like this and they're like that or whatever, and they try to sway that person from you and that person go for that, cut them off. It's not no need to sit here and say, I'm dealing with rejection and I'm afraid to, show my social life because my family's so narcissistic. They try to reach out to everybody I know, blah, 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 blah. Let them. Let them. You cannot sit here and live your life like you're in witness protection. Allow people around you to be tested. And if you start noticing any type of difference in behavior that is unbecoming and off-putting, cut them off without explanation. That's definitely something that you need to look for. Removing all close relationships that you know are weak. Some people are not strong enough to be your partner, to be your business partner, to be your friend, to be an acquaintance to you. They're not. And as a matter of fact, if you are an extraordinary person and you're rare, you probably have very little to no real close encounters with people, because unfortunately, it always ends up being admiration to copying, downplaying, disrespect, insult of intelligence. It's always that thing, unfortunately, for a lot of people because of the intimidation factor, where people are overwhelmed by your multi-dimensional ability. Because there are some people you just cannot quantify and you cannot box them in. So it's like every time people study you and they think they got you figured out, you pull something else new out of you. Another rabbit out the hat and another rabbit out the hat. And it's like, damn, how many rabbits in the hat? If you ever been to a magic show or something like that and you see the guy, he has the rabbit in the hat and he pulls that one out and you see the hat, but you in your mind, there only can be one or two that can come out of that little small space. But here you are showing that there is an abundance of unlimited potential that you have, and that not only you have, but that you are a master at so many things. Every time somebody think they got you figured out, they gonna copy this, let me go copy that, and they think they have you figured out. There you have another unhidden gift and another unhidden talent and another unhidden ability and another unhidden, some more unhidden capacity, and they cannot keep up. You are an abundance, an ocean of vast, unlimited potential. And people will not like that because they cannot figure you out. You are an enigma, something that cannot really be, number one, you cannot be tamed. Number two, you cannot be understood. And number three, you cannot be copied to the degree that they would like to be able to receive the benefits of your destiny, your path, your journey. So they'll get maybe some remnants, right, of what your blessings are, but they'll never be able to, in totality, experience the abundance of what you are and who you are. because you're not waiting on life. Life is working in tandem with you. And people are very jealous of that because you are almost alien or extraterrestrial like in your abilities, in your efforts, which can put you very much so at risk because you are too valuable to be around most people. And then you'll be wondering why God, I can't have so many friends, big friend groups like other people. You have too much depth and treasures, some stuff even undiscovered. God does not want you or anybody around you. He doesn't want you around anybody. He doesn't want anybody around you. It has to be extraordinary people around you. And that's maybe few and far in between. He's trying to protect you because not even you know how valuable you are to this planet and to yourself. And so if you are a person who have very few close encounter relationships, and you're not mad about it, I would definitely tell you to be even more strict. Tighten up your program even more and become extremely selective so you won't feel rejected in this world. Okay? You need to start creating an elimination process before people decide that they're going to eliminate you because you're just too big to be around them. Some people just feel like you're drowning them with your presence. And although it is admirable, they feel like it's just too much going on. Most people are surface level. The average person may not even know themselves and what they have internally going on because they don't do introspection and they're so perpetually distracted. But you spending time with yourself so much and in your own personal company, you have uncovered a lot of your abilities and you're operating in it. So you are already a part of the minority in the small group of people who are tapping into divine abilities that God has granted them. And so people will be jealous of you, or people will be intimidated by you, or they will be puzzled and they won't really understand you. Some people may even think you're a mad person because of your level of genius and them not being able to comprehend what you are and how you're able to do what you do. And in that case, you need to be very serious about your close encounter relationships because the average person is not strong enough or maybe not even intellectual enough to be in close encounters with you. That person could be a liability to your program and to your lifestyle and to what you're trying to do with your life, which will leave you vulnerable and wide open for an attack when it comes to people always consistently trying to steal what is yours. What are they after? Your essence. Your essence is what a lot of people are after. So if you're saying, well, I don't have this and I don't have so much of that, your essence is what you have. And that is what makes you extremely valuable. And so with that, you have to, as I said before, you definitely have to guard yourself like the Fort Knox and lock yourself down. Be very, very, very private and be very, very selective about who you allow to be in your life. And you have to be unapologetic about it and not be afraid to be hated. You will be hated because people will be mad that you will not give them access to you. People think just because they like you, you have to like them back. And that's not true. They think because they admire you, you have to say, oh, okay, thank you. You come on in and we can get to know each other. But when you have been betrayed, when you have had people try to steal from you in many ways in your life, when you have to rebuild your life because of evil-hearted people, you will always have a distrust in the back of your mind when it comes to close encountered relationships because people cannot hurt you unless they are close enough to do it. And so for you, you may be one of those people where you have to do a lot of vetting, and that process may take a long time, and you have to do that very intensely. Because your interactions with people will be risky. It's taking a risk. And you have to ask yourself, is this a beneficial transaction enough for me to want to take the risk on this person? Some people just are idle. They just come to be company like you're just some lonesome person. No, it has to be beneficial. It has to be equally transactional, and it has to be a reciprocal exchange. You are not lonely. You're not desperate for company. So when you are a person who has gone from traumatized to authority in your life, you have to be extremely selective. And your process of elimination needs to be sharp and quick. And you cannot let people pull on your heartstrings either. Why you want? Why? I mean, you just so guarded. You just so. It's like it's just so hard. That you just a hard shell, and no. You did something that I did not like. I expressed that I didn't like it. You did it again. You're showing a pattern, and I have to let you go. You are a liability. I don't have the patience, and my tolerance is low. And I do believe that you will be a liability in the future. And I've never been wrong. So we're going to get you out the gate early. There's a great big world out there. It's people on the same level as you. God bless you. I wish you well. But this has been an experience. Thank you so much for your time, space, and energy. See you or not. But in terms of being able to have close access to me, no. Because you do not respect people's wishes. I wished for you and told you that I did not like something that you did. And if you would have told me the same, I would have stopped immediately because I value your presence in my life. But if you consistently do the thing that I told you not to do, you are blatantly disrespecting me and you're trying to test the temperature and gauge how much I will take. Don't nobody got to put up with that because we're extraordinary people with too much to do and nobody got time to sit around and play with you as though you're not replaceable. You are. So if you experience people who are showing you that they're not respectful of your time, your space, your energy, you have expressed things that you like and that you dislike, and they're doing things anyway, they're showing little signs, being, you know how people do, being slick, giving you unsolicited advice. I do not like that. Giving you unsolicited advice, being passive aggressive. You told them things in confidence, they'll bring that up in an argument or a disagreement. All that kind of pettiness, you got to go. So you can cut that out early because those people will be a liability. If given the opportunity in the future, they will be used against you. So you have to be very mindful about that. And then lastly, number 5, make valuable connections with similar objectives in mind. And that is for only intentional bonds only. Okay? Once you make a decision that you don't want weak people in your close encounters, that means your personal life. And that might be 1 to 2 people that you have in your reality that have some type of closeness with you, that's fine. Now, extending beyond that professionally, business-wise, and so on and so forth, those people need to be intentional bonds. And if you are a person who has been traumatized in the past and you've been ganged up on in the past, you're going to need to make bonds with people and real, serious, valuable connections. You cannot be an island unto yourself. And I really do mean that. Because if you are isolated out there by yourself with nobody to vouch for you and you're not making valuable connections with people who can help you get to the next level, you're probably going to have to just toil and labor to even try to get there. But I've never seen too many successful people build anything, long lasting with a strong foundation alone. You're going to have to outsource some of the ideas that you have. You're going to have to outsource and hire people. You're going to have to go to conferences and get to know people. You're going to have to go out and branch off into different environments, around different communities, different ethnicities, and different backgrounds, and start getting to know people, like the professional realm of life. You're going to have to try to make some connections with people. You don't have to have the tax bracket to bump shoulders with valuable people if you know how to present yourself properly. Okay, I'm not going to tell you how to do that on this live because I'm not going to educate other people who don't deserve this type of information. There's a lot of people that listen to me and all they do is take everything I say, reword it, and then they'll go copy what I say. Or it's people that do not like me, cannot stand me, have tried to make my life a living hell, and then they try to do everything I say. And I'm not going to educate the enemy on everything that I know. This is for my clients. If you want to know intricate details on how you can build valuable relationships with people who you do not know, how can you approach that situation and how can it be done in real life? I can tell you outside of this life, but that is something that you're going to need, which means that you're going to have to be open to getting acquainted with people where you may not have any type of commonality on when it comes to environment or even race or language. And it's a lot of people who are extremely fearful of rubbing shoulders with people who look different than them or may speak different than them, dress different than them, or have different customary practices. If you want to really get yourself to a place of authority where you never have to worry again about people ganging up on you, you're going to need to make some very valuable connections. You're not going to be able to be successful by yourself, and you're not going to be able to deal with these type of low grade people that you dealt with in the past without having some very valuable relationships up under your belt. Because people will think twice when you have company, valuable company with you. People who are valuable to society, making great contributions to the world, they'll think twice about trying to try you when you are not alone. And I'm just being honest. Now, if you are very courageous and you're fearless and you're living your life righteously and you're a law-abiding citizen and you are standing on business in terms of you being successful and not allowing somebody to force you to go into isolation or shrink yourself or downplay your abilities and who you are, that's one thing, because you're going to make some noise. Okay? But if you look isolated out there by yourself, you still look weak because you don't really have no cover, for real. And I'm just being honest. You don't look like you have any cover. So when people see people out there by themselves, or you appear to be alone, then they think you're vulnerable and that you are wide open because you don't have no cover. You don't even have anybody that really vouch for you. But when you are behind the scenes building valuable connections with people who are movers and shakers in reality, and if given the opportunity that somebody decides to start some type of foolishness with you, you can call somebody for a favor. It puts you ahead of the game in life. You're able to combat other people's foolish attempts to try to undermine your reality and what you have established for yourself. You need valuable connections and intentional bonds in your life. You cannot be successful alone. These people will try to make your life a living hell in the past. If you do what I just said, 1 through 5, there will be no match for you. Okay? There's a lot of people who have used their positions in life against you. And until you equal the playing field 1 through 5, as I stated, you will continue to be vulnerable. You have to educate yourself on what tactics were used against you in the past so that they will never be able to use them again. Make them work to attack you, if that is something that is in the back of their mind. And if given the opportunity that they want to go play that game, you're prepared and you're ready. You're no longer emotional. You're no longer impulsive. You're no longer scared. You are ready. You are willing. And if the opportunity presents itself, let's go. This will keep you in a position of authority where you're no longer anybody's victim. And it is your job that if they do position themselves to do so, to make them regret ever trying to disturb your reality again. Make an example out of these people. It's no more playing, no more ruminating, no more crying the blues about your story, no more being in fear about people stalking you and harassing you and lying on you and all of that, because that's a thing for people. For me, I don't mind being hated anymore. I've gotten over that a long time ago. I remember when I was a people pleaser, I used to say yes to people. I was always trying to help people, and they wanted to see me helpless. I was always trying to help somebody, and these people made it their mission to try to force me into some type of subservient place and wanted me helpless. The audacity. That was my reality. I'm scratching my head like, how dare you think you can insult me? I dealt with that resentment in my heart for a long time, and it was rage internally, because I'm like, you don't know me. You thought I was some sweet lick. Once I get back on my feet internally, once I gain my confidence back and get the clarity that I need, I'm going to show you through intelligence not to mess with quiet people. It is my job every day to disappoint you. You see people minding their business and you think that that is a sweet lick. Everybody quiet is not green. And just because people are not loud, that does not mean that you have to underestimate their ability. They're not slow. They're not naive and gullible. They know their capabilities, which is why they are practicing restraint and minding their business. You don't want to see how far people can go intellectually with you just because you went and got some numbers. One person alone can whip you with intelligence if they are a master of communication, of mental, emotional, and spiritual strength and patience. They'll wait it out. You think time has gone by and they've built a big RICO case on you and they're just waiting it out. And if the opportunity presents itself, you will pay. Just because people appear to be dead, it does not mean they are. Some people just play possum in life. And I advise people, why it appears as though you are no one and nothing, to do everything that you need to do to empower yourself intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and physically, so that you can out-discipline and outrank these people. Period. All you need is discipline. And anything that has tried to conquer you in the past, you will conquer it at will, in the current reality and in your future. And stop being afraid to be hated. For every dim-witted person that hates you, there is a beautiful array of people who love you, who are inspired by you, who are motivated by you, and they thank God for you. Everybody is not out to get you. Everybody's not a destiny robber. Some people are destiny helpers, and they come in many different shapes and forms. So align yourself. Get out of this place where you're waiting in the wings for whoever has tried to call themselves being a Pharaoh in your life, or a Saul in your life, or whoever they think they want to be in your life. It's going to take courage and you stepping out on obedience and authority, real authority, to walk into your covenant rights as a new identity and a new creature in Christ, where you make it your mission to show these people that you are not only unrecognizable, but you are not the chump that they thought you were in the past. I'm saying that as a way to empower you, because that is what people think about in the back of their mind. Trauma, people who have been traumatized are always thinking in the back of their mind, they will be back. If you've ever been robbed, if somebody's ever been robbed or something like that, the PTSD makes them, life will go by, time will go by, the clocks will go by, the ages will go by, the seasons will go by. But in the back of your mind, because the person is still sharing the same planet and air with you, you're thinking that they're going to try to ambush you again. And my thing is, let them believe that they can, and be prepared if, hypothetically speaking, the opportunity presents itself. You don't have to be fearful of being ambushed anymore, especially people who have dealt with spiritual warfare. That's a reality for a lot of people. You survived it. Everything you can think of. And you are still here. So how strong can they be over your God? If you are here, it was meant for you to be here. And the only way that you get past an invisibility spell and an isolation spell is you live boldly with courage, no longer living in fear. Because who gonna check you? They did everything that they could to tie your hands spiritually. And even that didn't work. For every cross, every railroad, every jar, every grave site, none of it was a match for your God. So it is destined for you to be successful and for you to live the life of their worst fears. So I hope this has been a blessing to you in some way. But the Holy Spirit put this on my heart for those of you guys who have moved past to the best of your ability, but you still ruminate on traumas and humiliation rituals and spiritual warfare that you did not deserve from the days of old.